Hiya, folks. Sandro here with more cartoon news and shenanigans. And if you would like more cartoon news and shenanigans, please subscribe to the channel right now. Yes, thank you very much if you just did that. Currently at 160 subscribers, trying to see if it's possible to get 1,000 by the end of the year. If not, I'd like to hit 200 ASAP. So I thank you if you just subscribed. You get a thumbs up, 2 thumbs up from me. Thank you very much. On to the video. What do we have today? So as you guys know, as soon as I saw this article, I'm like, I got to talk about this one. As you guys know, I am from Canada. Okay. It's a very short article. We're going to go through it. We're here on cartoonbrew.com, and we've got an article by Alex Dudok DeWitt. And let's dive right in, you know. So Canada sets out legislation to make streaming services pay for local content. Very interesting. So basically, I read the first opening paragraph here. From my understanding, before we jump in, basically, I think what they're going to be doing is, if you're a company like Netflix or any kind of streaming company, right? If you're any kind of streaming company, I believe that you have to make a certain amount of content for Canada, otherwise you have to pay a fine. I believe that's what we're going to find out here. Let's read. Canada's federal government has unveiled long-awaited legislation aimed at making streaming companies subsidize the creation of Canadian content, and it's going to be called CanCon. Okay, so here are the details. The proposed amendments to the Federal Broadcasting Act aim to extend regulations currently faced by domestic broadcasters. So that's anybody outside of Canada, right? Domestic broadcasters. And cable TV providers to global streaming companies active in Canada. Okay, so anyone who's like Netflix, for example, Spotify and Disney Plus. These companies will fall under a new online undertaking category. Interesting. So under the new rules, streamers will have to contribute to the development, production, and distribution of Canadian content. Non-compliance could result in fines. Yes, there you go. So if you don't, basically you have to make some Canadian stuff. You have to contribute to the Canadian media. Otherwise, you have to pay some kind of fines. I don't think they're going to tell us what the fines are, but interesting enough. The government estimates that, assuming the bill becomes law, so it isn't 100% yet, but I think it'll go through. These companies would have to invest Canadian 830 million, or basically 627 million USD, or 830 million in local content by 2023. That's a lot of money. Holy shit. So 830. Okay, so hold on. By 2023, so that's 3 years. So let's divide that by 3. So should I take the US? Okay, I'll take the US amount, even though I'm Canadian. Whatever. 627 million US. Divide that by 3. So they basically have to spend 209 million US dollars in Canadian content. Otherwise, they'll get fined. Very interesting. If this goes through, it's not 100% again. So basically, they'd have to spend 209 million USD every year to meet this quota. Streamers currently earn around 5 billion Canadian. Okay, so basically they want around 1/5 of the money going to Canada. You know what I mean? So they made 5 billion Canadian revenue, and they want about 830 to be spent on Canadian. Exactly how these online companies will have to subsidize content has yet to be determined. The CRTC, Canada's telecom and broadcasting regulator, has been tasked with working out the details over the next 9 months or so. Okay. Under the current law, traditional broadcasters are obliged to invest anywhere between 25% and 45% of their Canadian revenue in local productions, depending on their market share. Interesting stuff here. Yeah, so they have to, if you're a broadcaster of some kind, you have to do that. 25% and 45% in Canadian revenue in local productions, depending on their market share. So we can expect similar obligations from streamers. So now would that include Twitch? I don't think so. I'm assuming that when they say streamers, I think they mean like Peacock, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Apple TV Plus, all that kind of funky jazz. I'm probably missing some CBS All Access. I think Hulu. I know Hulu isn't available in Canada. I don't think it is anyway. But yeah, you guys get the idea. Said Heritage Minister Stephen Guilbeault. I don't know how to. That's a French sounding. Stephen Guilbeault. I think maybe that's how you pronounce that. The new legislation also strengthens and the Broadcasting Act's stipulation that Canadian content should reflect social diversity. Including Canadians from racialized communities and Canadians of diverse. See, now this is where I do not like this at all. I don't like Canada is literally forcing them to, why should they be allowed to force them if they're going to make Canadian content? I don't know. This is very nasty. I don't like forcing other companies to, reflect social diversity and all this kind of shit. I don't like that. They should be able to make what they want as long as Canadians are involved. That's my opinion. Radicalized communities. Is that racialized or radicalized? Racialized? Radicalized. Racialized. I don't know. One of the two. And Canadians of diverse ethno-cultural backgrounds, socioeconomic statuses, abilities and disabilities, sexual orientations, gender identities, and expressions and ages. In September, we reported on similar changes in France, whose government is getting ready to impose European Union production quotas on streaming platforms. Netflix is lobbying against the incoming law. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, I wouldn't be too happy. Imagine if Netflix just pulled out of Canada. That'd be so wild. Yeah. So, and then up here it mentions that this is Corner Gas. I'm not a fan of that show. I watched like 10 minutes of one episode, I think, when I was flipping channels. That was many years ago. Is that show even still on? I think that was a long time ago I saw that show. Actually, I think I remember watching that when it premiered, the first episode. I don't even... I know, I have a friend. This is based off of another show called Corner Gas. Which was a live action, I'm pretty sure. And my friend was a big fan of that. He's a big friend of this show, that show, and the Trailer Park Boys. But yeah, so there we go. Just pointing that out. The last line of the thing is image at top CTV comedy channels, Corner Gas animated. So yeah, guys, this is interesting. Again, it's also, it could be interesting because what if the streaming services just say, fuck that shit. We don't want to. We're not gonna go in Canada. We're not gonna do this in Canada. It's interesting. It would be what, like I said, if somebody actually just pulled out of Canada because of these law changes. We do see here that Netflix is lobbying against that incoming law in France. It appears to be right, or in the European Union. Very, very interesting stuff there. So yeah, guys, like I said, if somebody pulls out, that'd be the wildest thing. But yeah, that's all from me. That's all from me on this, article. What do my fellow Canadians think about this? You gotta let me know in the comments down below. And once again, please subscribe. I really, really could use a subscription. Thank you. Sandro out. Bye-bye.